So the other one is strong taste, flavor, and it's said to ward off Dracula. Do we know which one that is?
Garlic.
Yes. And everyone's heard this tale, right? But brought in by way of the Silk Road into Greece, Rome, then to Britain. 7,000 years in cultivation. That's garlic. Lowers blood pressure and serum cholesterol. Is antibacterial, antifungal, diuretic. Studies suggest that gastrointestinal disorders may be assisted by it. But we positively know that it lowers blood pressure. This is definite, independently confirmed, and again, over in Europe, they're handing it out. I had my son go out and pull this up out of my yard. It's growing free. It's in your yard, it's in your lawn. And if you need medicine in a hurry, what they're doing is they're encouraging people to take garlic every day. Some people, again, are taking garlic pills rather than the plant. But you can throw in cloves in your meal every night, every day. Yes?
Is what I grew up calling spring onion a
Yes.
form of garlic?
Yeah, it's all allium, and it's excellent. It all has the same medicinal value. So anything you have going out there, your spring onion, your wild garlic, whatever common name you want to call it, it's all relative and does the same thing and will help you. Put it in your salad. You know, chop it up. Use it in your baked potato. Use it whatever you can. Find some way to put it into your diet. Yes?
Okay, I missed something. What was clan root?
Remember me, rosemary.
Oh, we had that one way up there somewhere else.
Oh, that's because I was telling you about Scarborough Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember me, Clan Bruce was all about memory, and rosemary is an antioxidant and is proven as a defense compound against Alzheimer's. And we all know that Alzheimer's is when you lose your memory, when you start to lose your ability to retain information. By putting this in your diet, just like your ancestors did, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme with it as often as possible. Use the real thing. Don't go and buy those dried little things that I do sometimes, you know, and I throw it in there. And my husband's like, oh my gosh, herbs. What are these little things that stick in my teeth, you know? So he gets the benefit of this science, but not always to his liking. It takes an acquired taste. You have to learn to like these things. And if you didn't grow up with them, I grew up with them. So for me, this is just, you know, ordinary diet. You know, out in the sandhills, we'd supplement whatever we had. And so, but my husband, on the other hand, he grew up in the city with the normal folks, you know. He doesn't like to have all those things stuck in his teeth. But you get used to this idea, and you can soften these things up. And you can also use them as tea. So, you know, put in a teaspoon of honey, which, by the way, is antimicrobial. And what does that mean? It fights the microbes and the bacteria. That's what honey does. Yes?
You know, something I do I have people in my family that don't like it either, stuck in their teeth. So what I do is after, like if I'm making the chicken soup, I'll take all the chicken out and stuff, and I'll take a blender and blend everything together, and 9 out of 10 times.
Make a smoothie.
And then you put the chicken back in there, adds more broth there.
What after dinner candy is named after this plant? Did you guys get a smell of this? Did you get a peppermint smell? Did anybody come over here and smell it? Okay. This is peppermint. And what is important about peppermint? Like everything in the mint family, it is a medicine. All mints are medicinal. Spearmint, peppermint are only native mint. Canadensis, Mentha canadensis. All of these contain menthol. Why is that important? Well, it's a native to Europe. Again, your ancestors used it. And it actually, peppermint tea actually works against stomach upset. The extract is also proven scientifically, again, is being dispensed in plant form, is proven against herpes simplex, Newcastle disease. The oil stops spasms of smooth muscles. Azulene, A-Z-U-L-E-N-E, is the component that is anti-inflammatory and anti-ulcer. So really, remember when your mom would give you peppermint tea because you had an upset stomach? Maybe your grandmother did. Mine always did, and you know what? It works. It's proven now. The Germans are passing it out. Peppermint, anything with menthol in it is approved by the Europeans for dispense. The capsules are used in Europe for irritable bowel syndrome. For all those people here who are going to the doctor and they're giving you all these harsh drugs that really wind up doing more damage than they do good, and they're expensive. Well, just saying, try peppermint tea every night. 1 cup of peppermint tea. Try it, see if it works. It's not going to hurt you, we know that. And it can't harm you, so try it, see if it works. I'm not saying that you should just ignore your doctor's advice. That's not what I'm saying. But why not? Why not try a cup of tea that your ancestors drank and found effective? What's wrong with that? So menthol, the major component, can cause allergic reactions. Infants and small children should be kept away from all plants. That's me talking. I don't let any of these plants come near children. I personally think you should keep children away from strong plants because you don't know when they're going to put something in their mouth. And even something that's seemingly harmful, like peppermint tea, it might produce an allergic reaction because they're wee ones, they're little ones. So you have to be careful with plants. When you give chamomile tea, you're thinking, gee, I'm going to relax this child. Well, my strongest recommendation is if a child's under the age of 12, don't give them these teas. Now that's just me, but and that's what I was taught through centuries of people practicing herbal medicine, beginning with my Lady Rolette, who came from Wales, her ancestors, all the way down, my grandmother's grandmother's grandmother. They didn't give these herb teas to children. Now you kind of think, you're like, herbal tea? That's nothing compared to the stuff. You're like, I'll give the kids some herbal tea. And you're thinking, well, that sounds so benign. It's herbs. What can it do? What harm can it do? Well, our ancestors said it did do harm. It did. Yet now we're so used to such really strong drugs, such as antibiotics and pills and Bextra and everything else, that we think herbal tea is nothing. That's because we truly don't understand that this stuff is potent medicine. Peppermint tea is a strong drug, so keep it away from the children. It's approved in Germany for spasms of the intestinal tract. It's actually used externally to treat myalgia. Yeah. Approved ingredient in cough drops. Well, of course, we already know that. Menthol. We've been looking at that for years. You probably never thought about it. Menthol, menthol, menthol. Never stopped to think it came from peppermint? Really? Something so innocent, but yet so strong. And so we have to treat our plants with respect. So who is Achilles? Did anybody identify this plant? Anybody? Who is Achilles? Yarrow. Now I know all of you know what yarrow is. This is a very famous plant in Europe, famous among the Highlands. Yarrow is famous for the person it was named after. When we think of all of our tales and our stories about why such a myth came about, we think of people like Achilles. The man was thought to be semi-immortal. Why? Why?
You got dumped.
Well, they thought that, it was, he got treated specially by the gods, or he was a god's son, or whatever. In actuality, the facts are, his mother practiced herbal medicine. She did. It's documented that she was a magical person who could magically make people well. Well, she swam like your Scottish forebears and picked a few plants and threw them here and threw them there and did her thing. Well, yarrow happens to be a very special plant because this actually stops bleeding. You can put it on bruises on sores. you mix it up like a poultice. I mean, you're not always at a place where you can boil stuff, but you're up in the mountains. Milleforium achilleus. When I see it in the mountains, I pick some. And I don't think a ranger's going to contest me when I say, look, if I get hurt up here, I want to have some of this in my pocket. He's not going to contest me for that. Because if I'm bleeding and he can't get to me, well, I need to take care of myself. I'm a good Scot. So having yarrow in your yard is really important. Because Achilles actually was able to heal himself. Now think about this. These are ancient times.